himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Liabadine and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Standing out from the crowd is a challenge. You have the passion, courage, and ambition to do something extraordinary. You have an awesome story to tell and a wonderful vision to share with the world. At Eddie Videos, we take that vision and turn it into reality so you can be heard above the rest. You need something different, and we give you the ultimate advantage. We can help you transform your ideas, images, and clips into a professional video that brings your message to life and sets a new bar for excellence. Visuals, voiceovers, editing, animations, whatever you need, we've got it all. If you're a new business looking to make your mark or an experienced company searching for something new and amazing, we're here to help. Trust us to take your video to amazing levels of awesomeness.
Coming down, does he have it? He's going to get it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's touched on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to Sunday night for round 6, season 3, live from the Hungaroring. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined once more in the booth by Mr. Ewan O'Leary for what plans to be an absolute incredible evening of racing. 51 cars currently taking part in the half an hour of quali. Track length 4.33 kilometers here today, and well, what a race it's going to be. The same weekend as the Rio F1, of course, one earlier on. I won't tell you who by, because obviously you may not have watched it, but it was a good race. I enjoyed it. I sat and watched the highlights this afternoon and it wasn't too bad at all. So if you do get a chance, go and have a look back at that one. In the current championship standings, it is Evan Way out in front on 167 points with Kenzie Newhoff on 165, Andy Flynn on 164. 3 points separating the top three, and then 10 points back from that is Connor Gibb. And then we got Antonio Jimenez, Christian Glamsita, Marcis Putnieks, Samuel Hermer, Jakub Olizwinski, and then Marek Otlovs rounds out the top 10. In 11th, we got Adam Townsma, Chuck Morrow in 12th, Vyacheslav Potapenko 13th, Koji Ito 14th, and Robert Ridgway is in 15th place. After that, then on from there, we've got Yang Shi Lin, Will McIntyre, Reno Scatini, Pedro Suarez, Luca Varani, Philip Lucas, Leonard Cherry, Zoltan Samota, and then Dorian Oreo rounds out the 24. In 25th is Gianfranco Bagoda, 26th Clark Williams, 27th Marcello Kessler, 28th is Michael LeMay. He's up 12 places, jumps into the top 30. John McKenzie in 29th, and then Dennis Cornu is the 30 here this evening. evening, ready to cement their places if they can, of course. But with 51 cars, 51 cars on track, it's definitely going to be an exciting evening. Let's bring Ewan O'Leary into the booth to have a chat. What we can only describe as a mega field here this evening.
A busy field, I think, is what I'm going to go for here with 51 cars on the grid. It's not the longest circuit in the world. It's all right for these cars. 1 minute 36 is the lap time currently for Gianfranco Pagotto, who currently has the best time of anyone. But not very many miles around this circuit, and so it's going to be very, very busy. It's going to be another one of those circuits, so it's a little bit hard to overtake. It's not quite going to be like Jerez last week, where it was almost impossible. It's going to be a little bit more possible here, but even so, difficult as well. And the track position that Gianfranco Pagotto looks like he's going to get right now could prove to be crucial.
Yeah, it definitely can here. Of course, don't forget there is also the rookie series that is being led by Conor Gibb at the moment on 172 points, with Dennis Cornu on 126 and then Louis Gregg in 123. In the 2.5k, it's Rino Scattini out in front on 163 with Dorian Oreo 157, Michael LeMay on 153 and Maximilian Gerhardt on 144. That is your tops currently at the moment. In the overall team standings, No Limits Racing with Conor Gibb and Christian Glamsey are out in front here, 12 points ahead of Scudiera Hydroforce Racing Forces Formula Sim Racing Team by iRace with Andy Flint and Adam Townsmer, and then in third place it is Hydra Racing Forces on 262. In the rookie teams, of course, you have got still No Limits Racing, Unity Racing, and then No Limits Sim Racing Academy. In the 2.5k, it's Modern Racing Prince GP out in front of 196 with AJR Racing on 123 with GPFun 67 on 94. So it's getting busy across the standings. We will keep you up to date as much as we can as we come into the last 3 minutes. And currently Gianfranco Pagotto is out in front with this man Kenzie Neuhoff in second. We've got no Lee Aberdeen here currently at the moment, no Samuel Hermer by what I've seen. So it could open up the grid for another Gianfranco Pagotto win here, Ewan. He's not taken part in many of the races this season. I believe he's only done 2, I think, or this will be his 3rd one here. So an opportunity for him to boost his points tally and move himself up in the championship.
And if he'll want to do that in terms of challenging the championship standings, he will need a bit of a boost in the standings. He will need a good race. Never mind a good race, just needs to be at some, because, as you say, this is only his 3rd race of the season, and it's round 6, which is a little too few races, really. It doesn't matter whether you're winning or not. It's kind of too few to be challenging for a title when you've got the likes of Kenzie Neuhoff, who's been here at 4 of the rounds so far, but has scored the same amount of points as the likes of Evan Way and Andy Flint, or roughly the same amount of points as those two, despite 1 round less. So Pagotto does need to just attend a few more races, but his pace is shown to be absolutely nothing wrong with that so far.
Yeah, definitely here as well. The track itself, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, all the way round to turn 14. Turn 1, do you think? Are we looking at the main overtake situation? Obviously, we've got the purple zone. There's no active overtaking until they get out of the top left corner, which is turn 5, where we're on now with Kenzie Neuhoff. This is where they can start overtaking each other. So there is no active overtakes, of course, which doesn't mean that they can't overtake as long as it's not an active overtake. So i.e. if the person goes off track, or if the car in front spins, or something along them lines, they're allowed to overtake. They don't have to stop and wait. They can overtake them, but they cannot make an active overtake. And to be honest, I think looking at the amount of cars that are here this evening, that turn 5 purple zone, probably not a bad idea.
It might not be a bad idea. You know, you could say that they could move it forward to turn 3 maybe, because there wouldn't likely be a move in towards turn 4 anyway, but there might be moves at turn 5 had they been allowed, so maybe they're just trying to prevent that a little bit. Wasn't particularly on the opening lap, but we did see a few incidents throughout last week's race that have received penalties. In fact, 3 penalties given out for Vyacheslav Potapenko, for Samuel Hermer and Pedro Suarez. all given 20 and 20 for the last two I mentioned, and 40 seconds penalty for Potapenko. So a few changes to the order based on or compared to what we showed you at the end of the stream last week. But nothing too major, nothing that will affect the top drivers particularly. Although Hermer and Suarez were, I think, up around the top 10. So that's promote a few drivers into the top 10 probably.
Hermer took the win last week.
Is my memory that bad?
Well, I'm guessing so, but as far as I can see, he's recorded the victory with Conor Gibb and Kenzie Newhoff, your 1, 2, 3. Of course, there was the incident with Lee Aberdeen, didn't they? They had a big old coming together as well on lap 22 coming out of turn 10 at a ref. So they had their coming together as well, which I believe is probably what the punishment... No, he got punished for driving off track on entry, but there was definitely a coming together of Lee Aberdeen and Samuel Hermer on lap 22 last week. So, it's obviously an issue with penalties anyway. You know, for him, it will make a dent in the standings of where he would have been, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 20-second gap from there, he would have ended up basically down in 13th place. 14th place, behind Pedro Suarez. So that would have promoted Conor Gibb for the win, Newhoff in second, and Evan Way in third. So, yeah, bit of a change, but, you know, with this amount of cars on track, it's going to be interesting to see if we can make it through. I'm not going to say without any incidents, Ewan. I think that's a given with 51 cars on track. I think we're going to see a few, but hopefully the majority of the race should be quite clean.
Let's hope so. We'll hope for that, because that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see big grids, but also everyone getting to the end of these races as well, because very easily it can descend into chaos on occasion as we see the final drivers come over the line. Now that looks like it's pretty much it for qualifying, and a very, very dominant display once again from Gianfranco Bugatti, who we might not see a lot of in tonight's stream, to be honest, but that doesn't mean he won't win the race or do very well.
Yeah, this is also true. He generally does pull away when he gets out in front. But here is the grid currently at the moment for this race. Gianfranco Bugatti in first, Kenzie Newhoff second, Tony Jimenez third, Max Bartolotta is in fourth, Andy Flint fifth, Pedro Suarez sixth, Conor Gibb in seventh, Alvin Chan eighth, Evan Way, your championship leader, down in ninth, Jakub Olezwinski in 10th, Christian Glamseter 11th, and Youngshi Lin down in 12th. Then beyond that, Nicholas Westman, Simon Fessy, Steve Ridders, Adam Townsman, Robert Ridgway, Clark Williams, Vyacheslav Potapenko, Chuck Morrow round out your top 20. Koji Ito, Irvin Stumakens, Felipe Sarkis, Philip Lucas, and then Jacques Willems is your 25. Reno Scattini, Leonard Cherry, Ryan Berry, Dennis Cornu, Marcius Putnieks is your top 30. Zoltan Zamota, Marek Otlovs, Machero Kessler, Alistair Hay, Reed Dennis, and Stuart Milne round out your 36. Then you got Alex Hopkins, Manuel Vargas, Dorian Oreo, Garrett Spence, Johnny Coco, Ben Gaiotti, Giovanni Silito, Arturo Mayorga, Hafim Mizban, Samuel Marr, Patrick Rowlands, Xander Goff in 48th, Eshin Mamini, Thiago Martino, and then Timo Milikangas is in 51. So, yeah, just a few cars on the grid tonight. And as expected, we said that they would be rounded up round the corner. Now, if I'm not mistaken, what can you actually see? Nothing. You are literally relying on everybody else for Timu Milikangas there. So he is all the way around the back end of the corner, basically up where the pit lane starts here as well. But that is what we said might happen here, Ewan, with them queuing up so far back.
Yeah, we did, because of course he'll have the virtual lights in front of him, so it'll be fine. But yes, a very big grid for this very long run towards turn one.
Here we go. 5 lights are out. We are going to be up and underway here this evening. Already there's active movement in the back, but don't forget we do have that purple zone. No active overtakes until turn 5. They're all coming down side by side. Currently at the moment there has been some movements, but I think that's just general movements on the way they are moving here. Felipe Sarkis is up 2 there, so that may be needing to to be have a looked at, as well as Dennis Cornu also up to as well. But Gianfranco Bogotto still out in front currently at the moment, and then we're going to be seeing some active racing. This is the moment where they're trying to get away from each other. Kenzie Newhoff is trying to stay up from Bigotto. They are going to be driving full speed, but it will be single file right till we get around about now, and then we're going to be up and running, and we are underway. Full bore racing now. They can now actively overtake as the leaders go into turn 6 and 7 here as well. Absolutely flying start here, Ewan. Everyone generally got away cleanly there as well.
Yeah, but as with most of the purple zones, in fact, at these especially twistier circuits, it does mean that they stay single file for quite some time because of the way that turn 5 works. You're basically into the to the middle sector by that point, and then you really can't overtake very easily at all. So yeah, it's basically a purple zone all the way through, although there is going to be movement a little bit further down. Maybe if you're already side by side, there is chance for overtakes in that penultimate sector, but Gianfranco Bogotto has used this chance to get away and pull a 1 second margin over the rest of the field already.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's out in front. Looks like Clark Williams has had an incident. Has jumped back to the pits here as well. And then beyond that, Kenzie Newhoff, Jimenez, Bartolotta, Suarez, Flynn and Chan are your top 7 as they're all fighting out coming down into that turn 1. You can see how long the cars stretch here. We're basically going nearly into turn 2 with the leader, while the last place car is just coming out the final corner and heading down that finish straight. 51 cars here currently on track as well, an absolute flying field. Good evening T4R1K, welcome in, thanks so much for joining us. But it is back and running with Evan Way having a fight in 9th place, chasing down Connor Gibb, of course, who was promoted into the win last week here, with Jakub Oleszwinski tucked up right behind him as well. It's been some interesting racing, couple of gaps appearing already, and Gianfranco Bogotto, who's one of them, is opening them up.
Yep, that's the most obvious of them that's being opened up at the moment. Unfortunately, we have had a couple of pit stops further back for Marek Zotlovs and Clark Williams. Unfortunately, Williams is already out of this race and gone. Marek Zotlovs has re-emerged from the pit lane at least, but there was clearly some goings on a bit further down because Williams was hovering around the top 20 mark there. And I think the incident was coming out of turn 9 as you're getting on the power there through the AstroTurf. No, that's turn 9 and he's all right. So it could be the very committed turn 11, and it is. He just gets it all wrong and gets into the wall.
Yeah, definitely no good for Clark Williams there, unfortunately, as well. That was one of his incidents. He did have another one. No, that's basically part of the same one. So, unfortunately for Clark Williams, he has dropped down. Evan Way cannot get away from Oleszwinski here as well. Oleszwinski doing an absolutely stellar job, sitting on the back end of Evan Way at the moment. And this is what Oleszwinski is seeing. That is Evan Way. You can see the movement up in front as well with Connor Gibb, Alvin Chan, Andy Flint fighting out. Young Shi Lin coming through the field, who's down 1 at the moment as well. So he's fighting his way through as we're on that run down into turn 2. The left-hander here before they go running off that fast right-hander or 3 and then up into 4 here as well. It's a difficult circuit, this one. Sometimes I find this circuit very interesting because at times you can see great side-by-side action as we are now, and then at other times, depending on the series, there's some very single-file action. So it's a bit of a Marmite track for some drivers. Some might like it, some may not.
Absolutely, it very much is a Marmite circuit. I don't think anyone can doubt the driving challenge here. And oh no, there's going to be contact there, up into the wall for Simon Fetzi, I think. Simon Fetzi has gone up into the air and has made contact at the chicane. I think it may have been in front of quite a few other drivers as well. This was the move down the inside. Oh, and he gets just bobbled up into the air. And he just about clips the wall as well. He might have actually got away with that, but he's very lucky to do so. Yeah, well, one man that isn't is Thiago Martino as well. I got a funny feeling that's going to be the drain or the curb. It is, and into the barrier he goes. Unfortunately, a dangerous position on the circuit. One that was going to happen at some point to somebody, but that outside right-hand corner is so difficult because of the fact there's that curb and you've got that drain cover, that long thin drain that runs beside it, and as soon as they hit it, it's just good night Vienna if they're accelerating. It's incredible how much of an impact that actually takes place, to be honest. Yeah, it's a really deadly curb, and if there's anywhere in at the Hungaroring that you really want to stay away from. That is the only place really that the rest of the circuit doesn't really have curbs like that. You can get caught out through the high-speed turn 11, but that's largely due to the challenge of the high-speed nature of the corner. Up here, there's a high-speed corner as well as that curve on the outside, as we see them go through here with Pedro Suarez. Look at the way that they're playing with fire a little bit, and that's what these best drivers will do. They will absolutely teeter on the limit of what they can get away with, but they won't quite go over that limit. They'll just play with it a little bit, but not quite go over it entirely. So, yeah, goodness, it's a dangerous game, but 30 laps only to get through. And at the moment, these drivers are confident that they can without smacking the wall.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes them the best that they are, is they will take these risks. They will run that edge out of turn 4 as much as they physically can. But it's up to the point of, obviously, what we've just seen Martin Odo is basically not go too far. But it's there that they really do separate themselves from the average, Joe in an official, where they do end up running that limit. And I think it's amazing the fact of how close they can actually take it here and how close, just how good they actually get with it. Philip Lucas has got Koji Ito and Vyacheslav Potapenko around him currently at the moment as well. Marcis Putnieks down in 30th place. He's battling out with Zoltan Zamota and Marcello Kastler, Alistair Hay here. And this band of cars flying down this start-finish straight currently at the moment here. And you can see them all rushing down into turn 1. Now we're starting to see straddlers here as well. You can see 49th and 48th place. Goff and Misban. Oh, there's been a big one there with Westman, I think.
Yeah, I think it was on the inside of the corner there, and it's scattered the pinches, if you like. Everyone's all over the place now. There is the moment. Oh, it's on his own. It's up on a curb again, not the one we're expecting at all. And he quite smartly gets out the way, using that bit of an access road as well to just get out the way. Fair play to him for doing that, because he really has lost himself a lot of places by doing that, but he has preserved the safety of everybody else. So you've got to take your hat off to him for that, but he'll be very frustrated with that. It's not a curb you particularly want to get up over anyway. Not really in terms of spinning. I haven't really seen that before, to be honest. But in terms of speed, there's no real need to get up on the curb at turn 1 there, because you're far more focused on the run out of that corner in towards turn 2 along that short straight, and you're not going to do that by getting up hooked on the curb through the middle of the corner like that.
Now, Tony Jimenez here with Max Bartolotta, Pedro Suarez, Andy Flint and Alvin Chan behind him there for 3rd to 7th currently at the moment. Then we've got about a 1.5 gap to Connor Gibb with Evan Way tucked up there in that one as well. Then we've got Felipe Sarkis, who is up 5 but may be under investigation there as well. I think there was counted at least 2 or 3 overtakes but in that purple zone, so whether or not they were active or whether or not there was issues, that will have to be looked back at, I'm sure, for him. But he has got a gaggle of cars right the way down from 18th down to 30th place currently, all stuck close together and doing an absolutely stellar job. And there is Sarkis. You can see everybody else coming through behind him. Jacques Williams is in there, Reno Scattini, Ryan Berry, Dennis Cornu, Termacans, EJ Lucas, all fighting it out. And then you've got Reed Dennis down here having a battle with Manuel Vargas down in 34th place. Dennis nearly just makes it through. Does he make it all the way through? That's Alex Hopkins behind him and there as well, and Vargas in that mix at the same time here. And Alex Hopkins lost 2 places on that run up into turn 4 with Vargas and Hopkins battling it in front of him as well. There is battles all the way over a track here currently at the moment, so we will try and bring you all the action, but it is getting a little bit manic as the race runs on.
It certainly will, and there's another dive further up the order actually there for about 30th place. Not sure which one of the group was going for it, but one of them's ended up off the road slightly, running a little bit wide through the AstroTurf. There is a bit of tarmac to play with these days at the Hungaroring, which is some of these drivers anyway will be pretty thankful for, judging by the way that they've been racing. It's been absolutely all action so far between everybody. I think the man we're on board with, Kessler, was involved a little bit, maybe Hay as well, as they fought for the fringes of the top 30 here. But yeah, what a start to the race we have seen here. A lot of traffic out there, very, very busy, as we mentioned. but not too many incidents, and so far clean battling between everybody.
Yeah, I think there must have been a big one with Giovanni Solito, Bengayoti as well. I want to try and have a look and see what he got up to. This looks like down into turn 1 here, but Solito did have a little bit of a moment. Oh, he did. Oh.
That's an awkward place to be. So that was last lap when Vestman was also trying to get going again. It was quite neat. That was very neat, wasn't it? A nice spin around there on the grass. He would have been hoping, though, not to have made it here this afternoon, unfortunately for him. It was just one of those moments where you brake too late and you get completely flustered by those around you, and who feel very, very guilty about hitting whoever that was in towards turn 1.
Yeah, I think it was Coyote.
Yeah, he'll feel very guilty about it because he realised his mistake from very early on there and couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, definitely there. And this is Koji Ito, Potapenko, Turmakins and Cherry. Then we go into the Ridgeway Talmsma Fessy battle here as well. So you can see packs of battles happening. Then you got Nuoff, Jimenez, Bartolotta and Suarez further up front. Jimenez is dropping back a little bit from Nuoff at the moment, but they're battling it out for 3rd, 4th and 5th with Andy Flint just about hanging on there. He's nearly out of that second gap window going on up front at the moment, so we'll have to keep an eye and see on that one. Looks like Timo Milikangas has been off track, unfortunately for him. He looks like he's had an incident, and so has Zoltan Samota. But this is Suarez, Bartolotta and Jimenez and Flint all battling it out currently at the moment here for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. It's getting racy up the front.
It certainly is, and that's exactly what we want to see. It's the battle for 3rd place on backwards as Pigotto is just wiping the floor with everyone again here for the 3rd time this season. He, as I said earlier, needs to appear at a few more races in the season to really compete with those others for the championship, but when he is here, he's almost unbeatable. Even Mackenzie Newhoff, who is famous for good race results and good race pace, can't keep up with him by any means at this stage. Jimenez, Bartolotta, Suarez all further behind, with Andy Flint here as well, who's having a good race here. Actually, it's Flint. He's had a couple of shaky weeks in the last few here and there, but he's putting on a good show here and is very much in the running for a top 5.
Here's Jimenez has got Bartolotta tucked up right behind him. That is Max Bartolotta, and that is Jimenez in front of him. So let's see how this one pans out as they are going down this long start-finish straight. You can see the spread of the field here as well. Pagotto nearly into turn 1, and the last car on track is car number 47, who's just going up that run up in through turn 3. But the majority of the field, look at 17, 18, 19, 20, all the way down to 35. They are literally nose to tail near enough, separated by not a lot there, as you can see on the right-hand side of your track map as well. So it's getting very busy throughout this field currently at the moment, but this is Bartolotta trying to chase down Jimenez with Nuoff. Oh, nearly.
That was all wrong.
Yep. Turn 3.
Yeah, that was all wrong from Bartolotta through turn 2 and then to turn 3 as well. Just got things slightly out of shape, and it's mainly due to the fact that he was following someone else trying to make an overtake. Bit of air disruption in front as well in terms of aerodynamics, and you can get thrown off course very, very easily indeed. But he'll regather himself, and he does look more than quick enough to have a go here. Oh, as he pulls off the road and retires by the looks of it. Max Bartolotta is gone.
Yeah, just pulled over and stopped. Okay. Sumakins and Cherry with Koji Ito there. Well, that's very bizarre. I'm not entirely sure what happened to Bartolotta. I'm sure I'll probably find out a little bit later on when these drivers do watch the broadcast back. We will be given information on about it, I'm sure. But as for Bartolotta, he just stopped and went back to the pits. That was it. So a job done for him. Putnieks here battling away with Scatini, of course. So they're having a nice little close battle as they're getting through the order. So this is down in 25th and 26th place respectively. Putnieks and Scatini nose to tail currently at the moment. Little bits of this circuit now is providing a little bit more spread. You can see the gaps are starting to appear between drivers at the moment.
They are, and that's to be expected at this stage. It's one of those circuits where you can gain and lose a lot of time very quickly because of the difficulty of the corners and how they just keep coming faster and faster, it seems, when things are not going your way. As Marcus Putniks makes his way down the inside of Bruno Scattini for 25th place. That looks like an easy move for Putniks, and he is through into that position. Not quite settled, though, for... At 19th, but 20th, Tumakun's in front of Koji Ito, who's looking left and right and left and right and right again. Can't quite go for the move in towards turn 4 at the moment. He will have to settle in and defend from Sherry as well.
Yeah, Cherry's right behind him here as well. Another man that is in a little bit of a battle at the moment is Adam Talmsma. This is Simon Fessy, of course. Fessy recovering after being shot up into the air. I'm surprised he ain't got damage, to be honest, because he did go up quite high in the air there, did Fessy, and he's done quite well. But yeah, I am surprised that he hasn't got damage.
I am as well. The way that car will have smacked down on the floor again would have been quite a shock to the system, to the shock absorbers, if you like. I know that's in their name, but they're not quite designed for that, because that was quite an incident. So he might be dealing with a little bit of damage, but at the moment he's hiding it well if he is, and he's looking for a 13th position with Adam Townsford just in front. Might be able to get it in towards turn 1 here. There'll be a big slipstream, and he's certainly close enough for a dive. He'll pull out quite late and hopefully break a bit later. He dives for that apex, but Townsburg won't let him have that one. He knows that there will be an inside for turn 2 if he can just hold it there, but he can't. Simon Fessy is up into 13th place.
There you go. He is through. Fessy is through on Talmsma, and job done for him. Olezwinski up here with Evan Way, and Glamseater is in this mix as well. Christian Glamseater there in the No Limits Racing, chasing down Jakob Olezwinski. Evan Way, your championship leader, and Connor Gibb, your last week's winner after the penalties, and is also leading the rookie series as well. So Connor Gibb, for a rookie, is doing an absolute stellar job here, but Glamseater is closing and closing and closing over the back of Olezwinski. He's got to set him up, probably coming out of turn 14, I want to thought here, Ewan, because they're in turn 11 now, dropping through the right-hander of 12. Surely he's got to try and play a game round 13 where he needs to get Olezwinski set up, ready to go down that start-finish straight.
Let's see if he can do that. It's going to be in the first sector where these moves are made. It's very hard to do anything, especially through the middle. There's chances at the final sector, but because you're coming off the middle sector, you tend to be not very close. And that line through the final corner will put pay to any move for Christian Glamseater on this lap. Needs to have a wider entry to that one, a later apex, and a better run onto the front straight as well, so that he can make this dive in towards turn 1. That's not happening at the moment for him, and it will be at 10th place remaining for Christian Glam. Just needs to sort out that final corner, and then he might have a chance.
Yeah, definitely here. I want to jump down to Leonard Cherry. There's a little bit of a battle going on here with Cherry, Williams, Berry, Putniek, Scattini, Cornu, and Kessler. You can see there in the background as Ryan Berry here on the left-hand side has got Putniek trying to run around the outside of turn 1. Not normally, but this will give him the inside for 2. Scattini's not going to give up either. Putniek's on the right in the 86. He's going to dive up the inside of Berry. Is Scattini going to try and follow him through as well? The door closed on him there, but he's now got Cornu and Kessler here as well, tucked up right behind him, and this is a very close battle. Further down the order, this is 22nd all the way down to 28th. Fighting it out here, Ewan, and it's still going on down the back end of the field.
It absolutely is, and it's fantastic to see, but it's synonymous with this racetrack actually. It is possible to overtake around here, as we mentioned previously, but it's difficult, and generally trains do emerge quite frequently, especially because of this middle sector that's so twisty and difficult and technical. It means that you can't really overtake through here at all, and you actually will lose time. See Kessler there. Is he advertising his own pizza company on the side of this car? Anyway.
No, we talked about his livery, didn't we? He looks like a tablecloth, I think we were told at one point. Yeah. So, yeah, now why not?
I've just been, sorry, I just got entirely distracted mid-sentence by pizza on the side. Anyway, you've got to figure out the middle sector here and then get close in the final sector for a move into the first couple of corners, because it's not really going to happen anywhere else, and Kessler's not going to do it into turn 1 this time, I wouldn't have thought.
No, definitely not. I don't think he's going to be close enough. What about Jack Willems? Is he going to be able to hold on from the ever-charging Putney X? Putney X is pulled out on the left-hand side. He's going to go up the inside there. Door left wide open by Willems. Is he going to try and get that run into turn 2? I think he's already behind, and I don't think he's going to be brave enough to try and send it out the inside, or is he here? No, Jack Willems does not. Marcis Putney X takes the place away, and that's Putney X up into 23rd. He is up basically 7 places at the moment. Now, normally we see 1 or 2 massive gainers, and at the moment it is this man, Timu Milikangas, down in 34th. He's up 17 places, so an absolutely stellar job to him. But Bartolotta, obviously, as we saw, is down 43, but Milikangas there forces his way through over Reed Dennis. Well, he's definitely making a point, isn't he?
Yeah, he was not taking no for an answer there at turn 4, and being aggressive is understandable because he is up 18 places and he wants to gain some more, but that was a bit of a risk, I've got to say, at the top of the hill there. You can hardly blame him, though, because those chances don't roll around very often, and he has a lot of work to do to get inside the top 30, which I'm sure he'll want to. These are the guys who currently hold that position, and I reckon he could get here by the end of the race. We're not quite halfway yet, and so he's still got the time on his side to catch up to these guys and then overtake them, because at the moment it's one of those groups where somebody is going to make a move on someone else, and effectively a bomb's going to go off in the middle of this group, because everyone's going to scatter as a result, and it's all going to kick off when somebody makes that first move.
Yeah, Oleswinski was running side by side with Glamseater there as well. Sorry to jump back up here, but they were running side by side, Glamseater and Oleswinski. This is the battle for 9th and 10th as they're coming into the tricky left-hander of turn 4, staying off the outside curb, and a drain there as well. So Oleswinski having a bit of a blink. That's not going to help here either. Simon Fessy is another man now who's chasing down. He's cleared Adam Townsend, now chasing down Ridders. Is he going to be able to make that move down into the chicane? He's not. He pulls out, makes himself known. Ridders gets it a little bit wrong here. Fessy tries to run the outside now in through turn 8. He's going to have the inside for 9, and Ridders concedes defeat. Fessy goes through. Oh, yes, he does go through.
It was a bit of a slide that I was worried about from Fessy there. Stephen Ridders couldn't really do anything about that, and you wouldn't expect to either, because Fessy is probably running a little bit lower than where his pace suggests he could be at the moment, but he's really wringing everything out of that car at the moment, sliding it around so slightly. This is going to be one of those circuits where, once again, tyre wear is going to be of high importance. We didn't get our notes from Luca Verani, but I bet they would have said tyre wear's high, because they always do, even if it turns out to be not quite as bad in the actual race distance itself, but it is a circuit that's constantly twisting and turning, and at this time of year as well, it can get quite hot.
Yeah, we're looking at 39 degrees currently at the moment on track, so it's nearly 40 degrees there as well. It's definitely getting warm, and it's one they're going to have to look out for. Jimenez now has got the ever-looming man, Pedro Suarez, coming up and through the left-hander of 4 as well. I'm surprised. You know what? I think that's testament to how well they're doing here, Ewan. We've only seen one incident out of that turn 4 that I'm aware of. Obviously, there's been a lot more incidents that we've not shown, because otherwise we would just have a whole broadcast of replays. But there's only been one that we physically seen. Now that in itself at the Hungaroring is quite an achievement, to be honest, that they've managed to get through turn 4.
Yeah, it's been good so far through there, but in practice, that's one of the very early things you'll notice, and you will pick up on that very quickly, and you'll know not to go out there again. You'll learn your lesson very quickly, put it that way. So I think that's not to be unexpected in the first half of the race. Maybe sloppiness and mistakes will actually come into the second part of this race, but the first part at least, it's going to be absolutely fine. Or has been absolutely fine indeed. What about the second half now, as Tony Jimenez takes a good exit off of the final corner and weaves to try and break the slipstream, weaving around quite a lot now, but since Suarez is a couple of car lengths back, he shouldn't land in any trouble for that.
Yeah, I don't know. One move, I think. I swear to, I think that this is where my problem lies with a lot of my opinions on him, is the fact that literally, I was born and bred on F1, and I was like, This is it. This is the blue flags. You get out the way. You make one move. That's it. You know, and that was kind of bred into me from the very first race I ever watched on live TV was Australia, and I was up at some god unruly time in the morning watching it as well. But I think that's the thing where a lot of this comes in, is the fact that obviously you get so used to drivers just making one move, and then you see things like Jimenez, he's gone once to the right, then he's gone to the left, then he's gone to the right again, and he's gone to the left, and it's like, yeah, don't do that. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, it's meant to be one move after all, and that was certainly more than one. I don't think he needs many hands and toes to count that. So a little bit on the edge, but since he's only done it once, you know, people that would be willing to let outside. And to be fair, Samuel Herman was doing it a little bit last week, wasn't he? On the front straight at RF, I seem to remember it was him, and didn't land in any trouble with the stewards for that. His penalty was for something else, as far as I can work out. So. They will be scope for getting away with it slightly. Let's see if Suarez is going to be close enough anyway at the final turn. I don't know why Jimenez is taking such a tight exit off of that final turn. I know he's trying to break the slipstream here, and he's trying desperately to do so, but he's really compromising his own run by not using all the road on the left-hand side there.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he keeps turning as directly right as practically he is coming out of that turn 14, he's only scrubbing off the speed that he would have gained by staying out a little bit more, because he could have just floated across. One man that is floating at the moment is Evan Way, who's up into 8th, but Jakub Oleszewski is on our inside here, or on our outside, as he tries to run around turn 3. They're side by side in this as well. It's Glamseter here, Oleszewski and Way and Glamseter. Glamseter is going to try and push past as well. Is he going to force his way up the inside of turn 4 over Oleszewski? He's not currently at the moment, but he could have then. I think if Glamseter was a little bit braver on that, he could have done that inside line like Mini Kangas did earlier on.
Possibly. It just depends really on how close you are, because you can't do it from very far back at all at that move at turn 4. It's barely a braking zone at all. It's just a flick into the corner, so you've got to be absolutely alongside and probably ahead on the inside to really make that work. And so coming from any sort of distance is just not going to work through there. You're much better off going through turn 1 or turn 2, to be honest. Fair enough if the battle continues on up the hill there, but ideally you want to be making use of those early hairpins above anything else.
Yeah, just want to see what Jimenez does coming out this final corner. Let it drift out and then go. I don't know, really. Is it? There's one. Is it? Maybe he just feels that that's better defensive. I don't know. Maybe he feels that that's his better defensive line coming straight off. He was a little bit further out that time around than he has been, but maybe he just feels hugging that tighter line and trying to come through for Jimenez works better for him in the long run on the run down into the turn 1.
Maybe. I don't quite know why he's doing. Oh well, to put it this way, I certainly wouldn't be doing it. I've got to say, as Guay and Glamseter now go side by side through turn 2. That was close. Glamseter gets up the inside for 3, and now Lynn will fancy his chances maybe, although we'll just decide to stay back on the run up the hill there. So Evan Way defends off Glamseter. First moves being made. You've got to make those probing moves every now and again. He knows that the positions he can likely get in this race are right in front of him now, so you might as well work out these moves properly and execute them properly as well.
But the problem is for, obviously, Evan Way is he got done by Oleszewski. He's 3 cars. There you go. He goes around the right-hand side of the top part of your picture. And the problem for Glamseter is if Oleszewski gets on his bike now and Evan Way's that cork in the bottle, because Oleszewski's opened up nearly 6 temps already here, and he's already opening up more time on Evan Way and Glamseter. Glamseter's clearly showing pace, but he just needs to clear Evan Way. Otherwise, Oleszewski, without knowing, could be a second up the road here again. It's going to be quite tough for Glamseter, but he's got to try and make this move, because it looks like Oleszewski's got pace as well here, and he could be on his way.
It could be. So let's see what's going to happen next in this group. At the moment, it's pretty hard to predict. There's a lot of weaving going on, and surely some movement now. Surely some kind of move, because Evan Way seems to be under a lot of pressure. Glamseter too far back on this occasion, but will he be close enough for a move at turn 2? Once again, he's not gone for that late apex, but an earlier one, and that's not going to give you the run. And so they should stay where they are here.
Looks like they're going to be where they are once more, but yeah, Glamseater needs to get on his bike. Olewzinski is clearly showing that he's got some speed, and if Glamseater lets him get away, there's going to be no chance for Wei and Glamseater and Young Shilin to be even remotely trying to catch him here as well. They stay off that little drain that runs down. It's just that thin line of grey and that curb that does cause problems. It looks like Vargas and Lucas have both had issues. Lucas jumped straight back into the pits as well, and he's already gone, and that's a shame for Philip. Lucas there's doing an absolutely stellar job at the moment, but it looks like these guys are just content with staying where they are. I don't know, maybe it's just the difficultness of this circuit. We did talk about it before. We did say that it could be tough to overtake it. Are we seeing that in this 4-car train with Olewzinski, Wei, Glamseater and Young Shilin? Is that something we're looking at?
Maybe. I mean, we're seeing opportunities, though, which for me is the difference between here and Jerez, where we actually just didn't see any chance at all. It was just demoralising for the driver behind to see that there were no chances. Now that there are chances and there is movement, there's weaving around and there's defending going on, as you can see in the foreground a little bit there at the bottom of your shot. No changes there. A little bit of weaving around in the background as well, but they don't look like there'll be changes here either. It's late apexes that are key, though, and at the moment Christian Glamseater is not going for them. He's trying to get the fastest route around these turns, which is fair enough, I suppose, but needs a later apex for a better run onto the turns. You've got to sacrifice your corner through one part to get a better run down the straight and make these moves, because it's not easy otherwise.
No, it definitely isn't. Suarez has now got Flint literally 2 tenths back at the moment as they're going off that run round turn 4. Flint is looking quick here, closing down on Pedro Suarez. Suarez is trying to get onto the back of the very defensive Antonio Jimenez here as well. So he's very defensive there. There's a piece of carbon left in the middle of the track, and that could have something to do with the fact that Patrick Rowlands has already been off here, and this is probably more what he's done. Over the curb he goes, around, hits the outside grass, spins it into the wall. So Patrick Rowlands there not having a good one. I want to get back to this battle here as once more Jimenez is dropping down into turn 13. Are we going to see him go on the defensive? Let's try and stay on board here with Pedro Suarez, as we can see what we've been talking about here, Ewan. This clear defensive move from Jimenez straight away out of 14.
Yep, it is. Watch him move to the right here. There we go. Oh, and to the left again. So there's your move. That's a little bit more. To be fair, we've seen that more from him ever since we were. It's almost like he's listening. Ever since we criticised his early move, that maybe it was just on the edge of maybe being illegal, but that certainly wasn't. That was exactly how you meant to do it. Just one move to the inside, then you can move back to the racing line as well if you wish, as long as there's not someone already there, of course. And on that occasion, Jimenez was absolutely within his rights to do what he did. So he's defending well. He's breaking the slipstream well as well. But I just wonder whether Pedro Suarez is biding his time here, waiting for Jimenez to get used to this holding pattern we're in at the moment. And then he's going to strike in the final 10 laps of this race.
Yeah, we have just gone into lap 21. So we've only got 9 to go here. Oh, Suarez!
Oh! Wing's gone as well. That'll be it.
That is the turn 11. Same as what we've just watched with Rowlands.
Yeah, it's just up on the curb. It all starts early on in the corner, let's not forget, though. Into that chicane. He just gets it wrong slightly through the first part, and then it sets you into the curb for the second, and then you're into the wall by the end of it. Just shows you the field spread, by the way. The fact that Suarez hadn't even dropped outside the top 20 by the time these guys were at the end of the lap, and he's already returning to pit lane. Unfortunately, a real disappointment for Suarez.
Once more, Jimenez goes round 14, and we're going to see him drift over. There we go. That was a little bit more sudden here. And that looks like Flint. There's Jimenez's move back again. Flint can't make the gap this time. He's not going to be able to get through. What's happening with Koji Ito and Chop Morrow? They're running side by side. Round turn 12 into 13 they go. Ito cannot get through. Is he going to be able to get him down into through 14 and down into turn 1? He's got to stay locked up behind him here for Ito to get down past Moro, and I don't think he has. He hasn't got that exit out. The gap's now 0.45, and it's not going to be close enough. Evan Way's crashed.
Oh, championship leader, of course. Championship leader, and of course, in terms of total points. What's happened to Evan Way? He's up on that curb on turn 2 there. He's on the power too early. Car's unsettled and he's gone around.
Yeah, and now he's just got to sit there and wait. And he's got to wait and wait and wait. And I think he just jumps directly back to the pits, if I'm not mistaken. And Evan Way is looking like he is out here. Oh, there's been a big old accident. What's been going on here with Martio, Dennis, and it looks like Milikangas is all involved as well. That's probably not going to help you. Oh, through he goes. Did Reed Dennis make it through here? Because these two guys all of a sudden crashed all on their own at the same point here for Reed Dennis. Yes.
Oh, he's got it wrong himself.
Yeah, what did Milikangas do here? We know he's been aggressive throughout this race. He's going to go again. Oh,
yeah, that was just one step too far, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He has been aggressive this race. Oh, and there's
Kessler
one off in the background again.
Yeah, was that Kessler going off behind him as well?
Oh, on the rejoin. Oh, it's chaos back here, isn't it?
Yeah, Kessler and Vargas, I think, as well. So there was a lot of people involved in them little incidents there, but it was just silly little incidents that caused enormous chaos. Young Shi Lin running alongside Potapenko. Potapenko has just gone past Lin here. Jimenez now has got Flint even closer. Flint's now 3 tenths back at the moment over to Tony Jimenez after that scurry of what just seems to be a moment of chaos.
Well, that is bizarre.
Yeah.
Complete moment of chaos. I don't even know if it was so long, I don't even know if we can call it a moment, to be honest. But a period of chaos. Further back in the field. Thankfully, it was all clear by the time that these drivers got around to it. And actually, the lap traffic hasn't been really a factor in this race at all. Pacotto, for example, hasn't really had to put anyone a lap down here, which he'll probably be quite glad about. But yeah, that was just complete madness there for a moment. People rejoining, sending others off, spins going around, and now we've got a car off it. Oliver Zwinski, it's just a connection problem.
He's blinking. He's got a little bit of a problem with his internet, I think. That, unfortunately, is going to cause Glamseater, and whoa! I believe that is a back marker there. I don't actually believe that is for position. They have just dived out of the way there. That's car number 41 currently at the moment. That is Mizban. He is out of the way as Fessy and Glamsey are now on nose to tail coming down into turn 1. Is this going to be Fessy's opportunity? He's pulled out. He's going to open that gap up. He's told Glamseater he's already there. He's bullied Glamseater out that inside line. Can Glamseater now get the elbows out and bully him back into turn 2? You've got to send it in deep here, sir. I'm not going to lie. Open up the steering a little bit. Oh, there we go. Glamseater does do the job. Is Fessy going to try and come back through turn 3? This one's going to be running up through turn 4. They're going to be side by side. Glamseater here as we jump on board with Fessy now. Did everybody make it through? They did. And Fessy runs him around the outside of 4 there, Ewan, and gets past Glamseater.
He does. Just ran a little bit wide beyond the white lines, though. I wonder whether that one's going to have to be given back or not. He'll have to be on the offensive again towards the chicane. I do think he is faster than Glamseater anyway, so it might not matter all too much in the end. But even so, Fessy ran the outside of turn 4. Was that a move that will stand post-race or not? Because he was certainly off the road. Was he pushed there or not, though?
Well, that's a question that we're going to have to look at for. This is what we're talking about here as well. Just how far over was he? Ooh.
He was given the room there, to be fair, to stay on the road, but he chose not to. So that maybe will land himself in a small bit of trouble there. It won't be a huge penalty, of course. We saw 20 and 40 second penalties in last week's race. It's not going to be that severe, but there may be one.
Jimenez there as well. Just caught the Jimenez's move back onto the line. He did the instant turn right again with Flint this time, but Flint looks like he's got a nice run out of turn 1. He's not going to be able to make it 2. Jimenez is so defensive. He's not even moving, trying to hold the inside line. What's he going to do on 3 though? Because he's got no choice but to run out. Is this where Flint's going to nip up the inside? He's not. Flint's off!
Oh no! Contact! And both of them will be out the race from that. Both of them will be. Oh, dearie me. Huge accident. Huge crash.
Andy Flint. Here, he just gets out of shape as we can come out behind that tree. Is that Ito?
It's Chan. It's Chan, I think.
Yeah.
Is it? And I'm afraid Chan has put that car in a place where it was never going to go, unfortunately, in terms of alongside Flint. He had the opening here and was well within his rights to try and overtake Flint, but not on the left-hand side here.
Oh, do you see the bump?
He's off the road. He's off the road trying to make an overtake there, I'm afraid, and Flint has taken the big consequences.
Yeah, there was a bump in there for Flint as well that bumped the car to the left-hand side into Chan, and unfortunately for Chan there as well, he went off. It looks like Koji Ito has had a massive moment. I'm not entirely sure what he's been up to here, but it looks like it's about himself has been involved, and it could be that he's just fortunately crashed on his own here. What did you do there then, sir? Because you've been on and off and on and off and on and off. It looks very bizarre.
Suspension though, is there?
He's already broken, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is. And realises, and I think he'll return back to pit lane pretty soon. I would imagine he's going to trundle
This
around
is-
like that. Oh, there it is.
There
It's
it
that
is.
corner again.
Yeah, turn 11. No, it's turn 7, isn't it? Coming out of turn 7.
Yeah, it's the chicane, yeah. So, oh, well, side by side between Gibb and Jimenez here, by the way. Round the outside for Gibb. That's how you do it, just about. I don't know whether he stayed on the road there or not, but he's just about up to 3rd place. It's been a very quiet race from Conor Gibb, so much so that I was actually beginning to scroll through the order, wondering whether he was in the race at all. But he is, and he's up in the podium places now, after having a decent time of things in the recent past. He's missed 1 week so far this season, but off the championship contenders now, apart from Newhoff, of course, he's doing the best by quite some way.
No, he definitely is. But now Fessy is having a go at Olezwinski here. We don't know if that place that he took over Glam Theatre was completely legal. He was given space to be on the track, but he turned to run out here as well. But Fessy is trying to get through over Olezwinski as they're coming round turn 12 into 13. Is this where Fessy's going to make it? He's not. He drops back in behind. Off through 13 he goes. He's surely got to be looking at the exit of 14 here with Fessy over the fact that we've got Olezwinski in front of him now. There he goes. Here we go. This is where the draft comes in. Olezwinski goes defensive. He goes to the right hand side. Fessy's closing. Olezwinski says, well, if you're going to go, you've got to go now, and you've got to go on the outside, and that's going to give him the run for the inside of 2. He takes a late apex job done, really, wouldn't it?
There it is.
Yeah, he did what probably Glam Theatre should have done as well earlier on, and now Fessy is going to go. Oh!
That was aggressive, and Olezwinski is not going to take that at all. He'll get the inside at turn 2, and he'll continue to hold it at 3 as well. Fessy's going to try and push him out wide again, and I think he's going to have the place now, although the 2 are going to, well, they're going to make contact if they're not careful. Now side by side to turn 4. Olezwinski doesn't want any piece of this, and he'll be under pressure from Glam Theatre now, who goes to the outside of turn 5. That's not going to happen. Will there be a move at turn 6? No, as well. That's not going to happen either. Fessy's had a really good race here, up inside the top 5 now. A great overtake from him there, just waiting for the mistake there from the driver in front. He went too deep into turn 1. He got the late apex, the better run out the corner, and in the end made a bit harder work of it than I thought he was going to.
It was very aggressive, though. Very, very aggressive from Fessy, and I think that's the thing. He has been aggressive, but he's been doing it, all right, apart from what we saw with Glam Theatre on the outside. The overtakes have been fairly clean, to be fair. But now it's Glam Theatre's position. He's now got to try and take Olezwinski. He's got to do what Fessy is already doing, because if he doesn't, he's going to be stuck there. It looks like Alistair Hayes had a moment and dropped off the field as well. Ryan Berry, Dennis Cornu, Stuart Milne, Reno Scatini and Millie Kangas are still having their fight. I just want to see what Glamseater can do, running now with 2 laps to go. Olezwinski on the defensive. Glamseater's tucked in right behind now. He's going to pull out. He is. Is he going to dive it into the inside there as well? He's made his intent. Olezwinski knows he's coming. He's done that early apex again that we've kind of tried to tell him not to do that, haven't we?
Yeah, a little bit. I think he could have been a little bit smarter today in terms of the way he's gone about making these overtakes, because on occasion it's not quite been the best idea, in my opinion, to do what he's done on occasion. He still has a few laps remaining, of course. There's 2 laps at the line, so 2.5 basically for these drivers here who are quite far behind Gianfranco Bagotto in the lead right now. Glamseater has got another couple of chances in towards turn 1 and turn 2 as well, and he's got to take all of the knowledge he's gained over the last 28 laps or so and use that in these final 2.
Yeah, he definitely has. Glamseater now tucked up behind Olezwinski. Bagotto's going to come round and start the penultimate lap before the final one hit. But can Glamseater get past Olezwinski on lap 28, 2 to go? He's got to try and make this move through. He's surely got to have a go here, and he's got to look at tucking this car up through turn 12. He goes on the right hand now. Through the right-hander over that little bit of exit curb. He gets a little bit of a better exit than Olezwinski currently at the moment. Olezwinski now trying to get out of 13 quick enough where Glamseater doesn't get the hold on him on 14. But it looks like Glamseater might be a little bit closer now. He's 3/10 back at the moment. This is where he's got to go. He's got to go down this start-finish straight. He tucks him right behind him. Olezwinski in 57. Glamseater in 18. Surely he's got to be trying to make something happen. Take a late apex. Late.
Yeah, he's done all right there, but it's a good run from Olezwinski there, and Glamseater probably wouldn't have been able to do anything no matter what he'd done through turn 1 on that occasion. Sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and realise that this is not going to be the lap. And fortunately for him, he knows that time's no longer on his side. He's pushing as hard as possible now, and he is trying everything, but he might just run out of laps now.
Well, he's only going to have one more here. Bagotto is on his way round turn 11. There is only going to be one more. You can see the field spread on the track map on the right-hand side. We had 51 cars on the track at the moment. I don't think we've still got 51, mind you. I think we've lost quite a few drivers along the way here. But, yep, it's now here with Glamseater in 7th place with Olezwinski in front of him here, and he's got to try and get past. I can't see where he's going to do it though, Ewan. That's the problem. He doesn't look like he can get that run out of turn 14 to hold him down into turn 1.
He doesn't look particularly threatening, I'm afraid, at the moment. You want this 6th place, of course, and the extra point that comes with it, but I do feel as if he's not going to be able to manage this, and to be fair, even if this race went on for another 10 laps, it looks like Olezwinski has the measure of him right now. It's just not happening for Glamseater. Let's see what his run's like here at the final corner. He's not even maximised the curve there on the left-hand side.
He's not even under the half a second mark either, so he isn't going to get close there. What about Leonard Cherry and Irvin Toomekens? They've still been battling it out throughout this race as they're coming down through 13 and 14 now. Though your leader is on his way through turn 6 and 7 for the penultimate time. And for Bagotto, well, it's just been a Sunday stroll in the park here. What about Cherry and Toomekens? Toomekens is holding on currently in the 888. Cherry in that 55 again just doesn't look like it's going to have its basically they're not going to make an impression. And Gianfranco Bagotto, who is, well, he's been on his own whole race, isn't he? To be honest,
he has. He won't mind that though, will he? He's in the lead of another race, and he will have won half of the races in this season if he can negotiate the final 2 corners. As I mentioned, not quite in the championship hunt just yet because of those rounds he's not been here for, but when he is here, he is absolutely unbeatable.
He definitely is for Bagotto. A man with a 7.3k I rating comes over the line. He takes the victory. Bagotto at the Hungaroring wins here. And then we're going to have the likes of Kenzie Newhoff and Connor Gibb, who are going to jump over this line as well to take 2nd and 3rd. And they've done an absolute stellar job. There goes Newhoff.
Whoa. A bit of traffic, wasn't it? Right, I thought they were battles for position there, but it was just a whole load of traffic and people just smashing their cars up over the line as well.
But yeah, Oleswinski manages to hold on from Glancy, and there we go. Stephen Ridders comes over the line in 8th place. You can't really say a lot as we wait for all the other cars to finish, by the way, as well here, guys, about Pagotto that hasn't already been said. He does a stellar job every single time he's here. I'm just surprised he isn't, I don't want to say committed, because that's not the right word I'm looking for, but it makes a point of being here. You know, 3 out of 6 so far, and it's just unbeatable.
Well, we don't know, of course, the reasons why he hasn't been here for those other 3 rounds, of course, which may be entirely reasonable. He may be very serious about this championship, but just can't really do any more than he's currently doing. And yeah, it's a real been a success story for him so far. He was 2 tenths quicker than almost anybody else in qualifying. And now he goes home with a 12.5-second win. And Kenzie Newhoff, by the way, best of the rest by quite some distance. If it weren't for Pagotto, then we would have been talking about a dominant Kenzie Newhoff win here today. So, you know, it depends who's at the race on the day. And Pagotto was by far and away the best of them.
It definitely was. But here Pagotto is your win. Kenzie Newhoff in 2nd, Conor Gibb in 3rd, Tony Jimenez 4th, Simon Fessy in 5th, Jakub Oleswinski 6th, Glamseater 7th, Ridders 8th, Townsman 9th, and Ridgway in 10th. Then you've got Felipe Sarkis, who may or may not hang on to that 11th, depending on the questions about whether or not he had made up places in the purple zone that was active. Alvin Chan in 12th, Young Shilin 13th, Vyacheslav Podopenko 14th, and Tumakans is in 15th. Then you got Cherry, Putnieks, Martio, Williams, Morrow, Berry, Scatini, Milne, Hopkins, and Oreo are your 25. Then you've got Marikotlov, Spence, Manuel Vargas, Arturo Mayorga, Dennis Corno, Andy Flint, Ben Gayoti, Hafin Mizban, Patrick Rowlands, and Timo Milakangis. And then on from that, you've got Sander Goff, Alistair Hayes, Samuel Marr, Essim Mamini, Reed Dennis, Koji Ito, Evan Way, Marcello Kessler, Pedro Suarez, and Philip Lucas. And then on from that, you got Nicholas Westman, Max Bartolotta, Zoltan Zamotta, and I believe there was also Giovanni Solito, Johnny Coco, and Clark Williams behind that as well. Well, what can we say about that race and that size of that field? It was huge.
It was. It was very busy as well. And as far as races go at the Hungaroring, I thoroughly enjoyed that, I've got to say. Not often my favourite circuit to watch racing at because of how difficult it is to overtake, but it was a dynamic race today. And a nice reprieve as well from Jerez last week, which was a very, very difficult one for everybody. I know we had a big drama at the front with Hermer and Aberdeen, and we weren't short on action, but we were short on overtakes at some periods in the race because of the way that circuit is. Now, good to have been here at the Nürburgring here this evening. And, yeah, I thought it was a very good race indeed. So, looking forward to next week once again now. And looking forward to what we're going to see there as we go over the halfway stage. We head towards that championship finale and see who's going to be in contention by that point.
Yeah, we definitely are here as well. And, well, next week we are at Motorland Aragon. Now, we did talk about this track, Evan. Is this going to be another Spanish track that we're either going to fall in love with, or we're just going to turn around and go, nah, don't like it?
Do you like any Spanish tracks yet? I've not heard one.
No, I don't really, to be honest. Catalunya just sometimes drives me crazy. Jerez, meh. And I'm not quite sure what this one's going to turn out like.
Yeah, I've never seen it race before in my life, so it's going to be a new experience for everybody. I think a few people along in the YouTube chat will be learning along with us as well, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah, we're looking forward to next week, and a new track on the calendar, the first time it'll ever be used in this league.
It definitely will be, but that rounds us out for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining myself and Ewan O'Leary for round 6 of season 3, live from the Hungaroring. I've been James Parfitt. Have a great week. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.